it's my home, North Dakota. Now, some people living outside the state have an idea that this is a picture of North Dakota 12 months of the year. Well, we do have winter, and we do have snow. But winter is just one of 4 North Dakota seasons. There's spring, there's summer, and there's autumn. Just as the seasons divide our year, distinct areas divide our state. Along the eastern border is the famous Red River Valley of the North. This is one of the richest farmlands in the world. Once thousands of years ago, this area was a great glacial lake. Today it boasts the best soil and the most rainfall in the entire state. West of the Red River Valley is an area of gently rolling hills. This is the section. 32 of the state's 53 counties are found within this area. Still further west is the region known as the Missouri Plateau. This is drained on the east by the mighty Missouri River. Some of the most beautiful natural scenery in the North Dakota picture is along the Little Missouri River. The early French explorers called this the Badlands. Today it is known as the scenic ranch and cattle country. Considering the weather throughout the year, North Dakota has a typical continental climate, and any extreme in temperature is modified by low humidity. And one of the reasons North Dakota ranks high in our nation's agriculture is the distribution of annual rainfall. Over 3/4 of the total precipitation falls between April and September during the critical growing season. And so it's the combination of good climate, good soil, good people that makes North Dakota big in our nation's agriculture. The North Dakota farmer is industrious, resourceful, scientific. He lives comfortably, and the operation of his farm is generally a family affair. He uses machines to spray his crops against the ravages of weeds and insects. He plants shelter belts to protect his crops from wind and weather. He strip farms to increase the productivity of his soil. And he irrigates wherever possible. The North Dakota farmer has used this land of productivity, of changing seasons, to make his state a giant food factory. Mechanized farming methods and mass production techniques have given this giant food factory many firsts. North Dakota is first in the production of flax for the paint, steel, and fabric industries. It's first in the production of premium malting barley for the brewing industry. Our state is also first in the production of rye, and it's a major producer of oats. North Dakota leads the nation in the production of 2 types of wheat. Number 1 hard spring wheat for the milling industry, and durum wheat, so essential in the making of quality macaroni. Because of the tremendous amount of livestock raised in the state, alfalfa hay has become an important secondary crop. And in the diversified scheme of farming, hybrid corn is grown in an ever-increasing amount. Sugar beets from the upper Missouri and Red River valleys are shipped out of the state by the trainload. Big red potatoes from the northern Red River Valley are known throughout the world for top quality. And to complete this picture of diversified agriculture, the newest crop, soybeans, holds great promise. The picture changes in the western part of our state, where beef cattle are raised on the lush, natural grasslands. As in the early days of our nation, the cowboy rides the range. His job is to care for the more than 1 million head of beef cattle raised annually in the state. The North Dakota rancher and farmer is justly proud of his livestock. Besides his beef cattle, his purebred dairy herds supply the milk that ranks North Dakota 6th in the production of creamery butter. The area has its own stockyards and packing plants, which send carloads of beef, pork, lamb, and poultry on the way to the nation's dinner tables. The raising, marketing, and slaughtering of livestock is big business in North Dakota. In addition to cattle, we produce a considerable number of sheep, thousands of turkeys and chickens, and a goodly amount of bacon on the hoof. Today, hogs are fattened on a North Dakota product, not corn, but barley, which has been ground into a powder and pelletized. And so the lesser grades of barley now find a new and profitable use. These grain elevators are the symbol of the wealth of North Dakota's agriculture, just as this derrick is the symbol of the mineral wealth beneath the surface of our land. Since 1951, when oil was discovered in the Williston Oil Basin, over 1,000 successful wells have been drilled. The petroleum reserves in this area are estimated at 743 million barrels. These 1,000 pumping wells have added 3 oil refineries to the North Dakota picture. Largest of the 3 is in the central section of the state at Mandan. These giant refineries supply a large Midwestern area with high-grade petroleum products. At this plant, the natural gas produced in the Dakota oil fields is compressed into liquid butane and propane. An important byproduct of this process is sulfur. Thus, 3 new North Dakota products, butane, propane, and sulfur, now serve our neighboring states. But a soft wood-like coal called lignite is probably the most important of all North Dakota's mineral resources. Lignite is found just a few feet beneath the surface of a 28,000 square mile area in the western part of the state. Under this overburden, there's an estimated supply of 351 billion tons, and it's easily mined by open pit methods. There's enough in North Dakota to supply all the power used in the United States for the next 150 years. Once it was primarily a home heating fuel. Today, most lignite is used to generate power in this and nearby states. Some of it is used to manufacture a high-carbon fuel called lignite briquettes. And to keep up with the changing picture of America, the Lignite Research Laboratory at Grand Forks is exploring new uses for the coal. So far, more than 30 byproducts have been discovered. Sister product to lignite is a weathered coal called leonardite. Now processed in North Dakota, it is used in oil well drilling muds and as a binder for paint products. Brick and tile for the construction industry are manufactured from the high-quality clay deposits that are found within our borders. Large deposits of sodium sulfate, approximately 20 million tons, are available to the manufacturers of glass, soap, detergents, and stock feeds. Man is now using a new North Dakota resource, water. Water for industry. Water for agriculture. Water for recreation. Water for the propagation of wildlife. The located on the Missouri River, is the largest of the existing or proposed water control projects in North Dakota. Besides providing flood control and hydroelectric power, the Garrison project will soon irrigate 1 million acres of land with an estimated $54 million increase in farm income for the area. It's the largest rolled earth-filled dam in the world, and this roadway extends across the top for a distance of 2 miles. Electricity from these Garrison generators is sent hundreds of miles around the state, connecting with the lines of private electric companies to form a huge power grid for present and future industry. Almost all of the industry and commerce in the state is centered around agriculture and a service to agriculture. As a matter of fact, every community exists for that purpose. They serve their area with fine shops, stores, restaurants, hotels, theaters, banks, and all the varied businesses that make up a town or city. And our cities serve agriculture directly. Scattered throughout the state are mills which grind locally grown crops into livestock feeds. Every city, town, and village is part of the wholesale and retail distribution network for farm machinery and other consumer goods. Locally manufactured fertilizers are making the North Dakota farms more productive. Although these giant mills grind millions of bushels of wheat into flour and cereal products, only a small part of the agricultural output of North Dakota is actually processed within the state. Newest enterprise on the North Dakota scene is the manufacture of farm machinery. Here in this tiny community, far from the city, is a factory making specialized farm machines that are sold throughout the entire United States. And from another factory, thousands of these field sprayers serve the farmers of the agricultural Midwest. The scope of North Dakota manufactured goods includes artistic efforts. From these dainty pictures made of wild grasses and pheasant feathers to colorful ceramics created from the fine potter's clay found in North Dakota. And that's just a sample. There are products from fishing tackle to tire handling equipment, from boats to costume jewelry. The value of North Dakota's manufactured goods rose 37% in the last 8 years. New capital expenditures for manufacturing plants went up 600%. And so industry begins to invade this agricultural empire. And there's a promise of bigger things to come. One industrial research director says, "I am personally convinced that someday lignite will be such an important industrial raw material that its use will involve movement of whole centers of population, and North Dakota will become a highly industrialized state." And to prepare for industry, North Dakota is building new highways and superhighways, new hospitals, schools and public buildings, new electrical services, and new and better housing. Centrally located, North Dakota is linked to the nation by a network of transcontinental railroads, which carry the products of our soil and the products of our people to the markets of the world. Most North Dakota cities are rail centers, and one railroad has built an electronically controlled freight classification yard, which speeds incoming and outgoing freight. All-weather highways crisscross our state. North Dakota is proud of its safety record. Its highway death count is one of the lowest in the nation. 4 airlines serve all corners of our state. It's but a few hours from our busy air terminals like Fargo to any place in the nation. Yes, living is good in North Dakota. And when it comes to community spirit, our citizens are hard to beat. All of the men in Dickinson grew beards just to celebrate the city's 75th anniversary. Community Band has carried the North Dakota spirit from coast to coast. It has marched in parades from the Rose Bowl to the Orange Bowl. Little theater projects and local symphony orchestras express the togetherness of our community life. Who are close to the soil are close to their religion. Each year, more beautiful churches are added to the North Dakota scene. Each community is a medical center with good hospitals and clinical facilities to keep us one of the healthiest states in the Union. School until they graduate from a college, a trade school, or a university, North Dakota young people receive the best education possible. There are 11 uncrowded educational institutions at the college or university level, more per capita than any other state. Actually, we need more industry to employ our graduating engineers and scientists, for today, most are being absorbed by out-of-state industries. Part of every education is participation in student activities. This college parade to celebrate homecoming packs the town with visitors. There are thrills and excitement too at the traditional big game. For the whole family, there's always a lot to do and see. The Minot Zoo, with its foreign and domestic animals, attracts thousands of visitors each year. Yes, when it's leisure time, there are plenty of ways to enjoy oneself. Every city, town, and village takes pride in its parks with full customers. Wahpeton is no exception. Summertime, thousands of happy children invade the North Dakota swimming pools. Of all the natural lakes within our borders, Devil's Lake is the largest. And certainly Lake Metagoshi is as pleasant a vacation spot as you'll find anywhere. At man-made Lake Ashtabula, Valley City residents enjoy water skiing, swimming, and fishing. At Jamestown, the waters backed up by the Jamestown Dam create another important recreation center. Yes, they catch them big, both in our lakes and in our streams. To outdoor sports. When the seasons change, the sports change. And every town or village has at least one skating rink. And a hockey rink is as common as a baseball diamond. Winter sports like these play an important part in building a strong and healthy people. Visitor, there are worthwhile things to see in North Dakota. We're proud of our International Peace Garden located on the Canadian border. Here one can visit these formal gardens owned jointly by the United States and Canada and built in commemoration of this pledge. To God in His glory, we two nations dedicate this garden and pledge ourselves that as long as men shall live, we will not take up arms against one another. Another place to visit is Fort McKean and the site of Old Fort Lincoln. Located on the Missouri River, it was from here General Custer began his trek to the Little Bighorn Massacre. Our Capitol building at Bismarck is a symbol of North Dakota's pride and progress. visitor to these places, our state is dotted with pleasant motels and comfortable hotels that make highway travel a pleasure. Gateway to the west is the Badlands. It is here that the visitor will find the flavor of the Old West amidst a setting of natural beauty. North Dakota's newest tourist development is Theodore Roosevelt National Park, named for the famous Rough Rider president. In this scenic land where young Roosevelt ranched before the turn of the century, today's visitor is invited to enjoy the scenic drives of the North and South units. And in the park, the visitor can photograph a prairie dog town. North Dakota natural oddity is this lignite vein that burns beneath the ground, on which the world's only columnar cedar trees are found. Burning for perhaps 1,000 or more years, the intense heat that pours from the ground will toast a hot dog in just a matter of seconds. A steady stream of tourists relive pages of American history as they tour the Chateau de Moors, now a state museum, its contents undisturbed since frontier days. In North Dakota, the Old West still lives. There are 30 big-time rodeos each year. Many big-name rodeo riders started here, and they still come back to enter these contests. The Dickinson, Mandan, and Minot shows attract the top cowboys from all over the country. But the professional riders don't get all the toughest horses. There is action and excitement at the amateur rodeos, too. North Dakota is a hunter's paradise. Located on the Central and Mississippi flyways, the potholes, sloughs, and lakes of the state are filled with literally millions of wild ducks. North Dakota hunters get a higher bag than shooters in the other states on these flyways. And there's fabulous deer hunting, too. We boast about our fine hunting for partridge, grouse, and pheasant. For the outdoorsman, this is the life. And this is the country. the changing picture of North Dakota. It's a picture of progress, of opportunity, and of promise. The 700,000 people who live here invite you to see for yourself this part of the changing picture that is America. Glenn Hansen reporting.